Hi, my name is Anna, and I am been Emily's best friend since a young age. For starters, I had no idea how much Emily would mean to me. Uh, her laugh, her laugh is what got my attention. It's loud, it's noticeable, it's boisterous, and it's very distinct. The way people would describe it is the way you spell a laugh, like H-A, is literally how she laughed. It was comforting, warm, and it would bring a room together because her laugh was just so loud that anybody around her just would laugh with her, or someone would comment about it, but they would just be laughing with her, and nobody really laughed at her because you can't laugh at somebody's funny laugh. It was just so greeting that made everybody around her happy. Um, she also had a beautiful smile. Someone you could talk to them and she'd be smiling at you, and you'd feel like you're at home when you're talking to her. Her eyes spoke thousands of words that you could just sink into, um, with such a nice smile. Someone who smiles with their eyes just can tell how caring and genuine her personality was. But she did also speak with brutal honesty, which helped her weed out people who she should keep in her life and who she shouldn't keep in her life, because if they didn't want her honesty, well, then she didn't want them. So she was very adamant about helping people, and she did come to a time where she really realized, I'm going to help you, but if you're not going to accept my help, then I'm sorry, this relationship isn't going to work out if that's what our relationship is built off of, is help. But she was also very passionate about it too. She was passionate about a lot of things. She was really, really passionate about life. Um, Everything she did, there was just this strong dedication and passion for. When she was really little, she went through something that she really shouldn't have. When I say really little, I mean like from about 4 to about 17. She struggled with some things, but she used that as a hard ground for her to stand on and walk on, to lead her through any tough times. And that solid ground kept her going and pushed her to become a United States Marine at the age of 18. Graduated early and became a United States Marine. Very admirable. Um, she became an engineer, and while she did that, she married the love of her life. May have been young, but they stayed together for many, many years. He had passed away prior to her, but they had kids, and they fostered many kids with people who had no kids that had no home. So, um, let me tell you a story. Well, we were about 6, I think, and we were tossing a ball back and forth in her room, and I tossed it a little off center and a little like it was just off center and a little hard. So it hit the wall, and it went back and hit the back of her head. Before she could do anything, she dropped to the floor, and she just bursted into laughter. When I say dropped to the floor, she literally like dropped to the floor, and she always did that. People made fun of her like, Emily, if you're gonna laugh, you gotta hold on to something or sit down, because she would always laugh, and she'd like her legs get weak and she'd like fall to the ground when she laughed. Um, we were on the ground laughing because when she laughed, I laughed. So we were on the ground laughing, and I'm not kidding when I say, like, no exaggeration, it was 10 minutes of us on the ground. Um, we may or may not have almost peed ourselves, and that's just because when you laugh that hard and you laugh with somebody that you love, then that just kind of shows how how great the laughter was. She had many great times with her, but I also know that you could always count on her in a time of need, not just for a laugh, but for a hug or for some comforting. I remember the time it was late at night and I really, really needed help with something, and I just couldn't handle it. So she drove over to my house and she comforted me until I didn't need comforting anymore, until I finally fell asleep. And she went home that night. She got about an hour of sleep, went to school the next day, and didn't complain a single word about being tired, because she felt it as her job, her calling, to help somebody in the time of need. So if that's what she wanted to do, then she wasn't going to complain about it because she appreciated what she was able to do for you. Another time, I remember her husband Mitchell. Um, really, they weren't even that good of friends at the time. She was in Waukesha, and which is 45 minutes away from Saukville where he was. He really needed help with something, but he couldn't think of somebody who would be able to help him with the situation, so he called her. His thought process was, Emily. Emily, yeah. Emily would definitely be able to help me. So he called her up, and she was able to drive down there 45 minutes, dropped everything that she could just to help him, because that's who she was. She was willing to drop everything that she was doing if it involved helping somebody and making sure that they were okay. That's something we always admired about her care and her desire to help others. Her dad. Her dad always said, Emily, stop being the therapist of your friends. Like, her dad was always joking, you talk to everybody and you help out your friends. Who's helping you? Well, she helped herself and she managed to keep herself happy and make everybody else around her happy. We just admired that about her personality. She was just very caring and giving, dedicated, very headstrong when it came to everything she wanted to do, very passionate. Everything she wanted in life, she managed to do, even if it was hard and difficult. She decided, I want to do this, so I'm going to do this. She loved all of her kids. She loved her husband. She loved her animals that she had. All of the foster kids she fostered, she found them homes and was sad when she had to give them up, but she was happy that she was able to help these kids and pursue their life, and anything she could do that involved helping others, she did. She was just a very, very passionate human being about anything that she ever did, dedicated and headstrong. So, rest in peace, Emily.